Hello everyone, welcome back to Glitz and Glitter. Today is Tumbler Day. I was not going to do a Tumbler video for a while. I was not even going to do a video for this tumbler. I've done, I've filled a lot of tumbler orders in the past several weeks and I didn't do videos on them, but this one kind of got my heart and I think she will appreciate it. Let me introduce you to Taco. Taco is a little tiny dog, and Pamela has lost Taco recently, and Taco was her very best friend in the entire world. So she asked me if she sent me pictures, if I can put them on a tumbler, and I said, of course I can. So she was very specific in what she wants. Like Taco has favorite colors, she has favorite colors, and some of the things that she wanted we just can't do because the things are not available. As far as the backing, she wanted a wrap with tacos all over it, but we can't find one with the right colors in there. So I've been conversing with her back and forth for probably a month, 6 weeks. So it's finally time to start doing this. She picked, these are her favorite colors, pink and blue. Blue for Taco. This is her color. She has everything in her house is pink. I saw her craft set up at the fairs. Everything was pink. So I hope these two colors are perfect for you, Pamela. She also wanted her lid done specialty. So she went and ordered these adorable little tacos from Etsy. And they're gonna be going on the lid. I think somebody made them out of clay. I'm not completely sure, but they are adorable. However, when I got them, I was like, Pamela, did you know that they don't fill the lid? Like, that's all that there is? And I showed her a picture and she was like a little upset. So we came up with the plan that we are going to use the blue glitter because Taco was a male. And she wanted some paw prints also made for the lid. And I also am going to do some dog bones, which I don't think she knows about. I think I forgot to tell her about that, but we're going to do a few of those just to change up the lid a little bit. So this has already been sealed with spray sealer a long time ago. I've had these pictures waiting for probably a month. So they are already sealed and ready to go on the cup. But first we need to get the cup ready. So I've already filled the bottom indentation with UV resin. I've cured that. I'm going to sand down this cup, clean it with alcohol, and we're going to apply glitter with epoxy this time. So I'm not going to do the tack-it method because this is a chunkier glitter and I don't want to do it that way. And I'm also going to spray paint half and half, pink and blue, because we're going to kind of graduate the color as we go up the tumbler. So let me get some sandpaper and some alcohol and let's get ready. So all that I do is take 220. It doesn't matter what grit, it's not important. I barely go around it and I scratch up the surface. A little bit on the bottom edges. Okay, that's it. That was real time. I didn't speed it up. That's all the sanding that I'm doing. Then I'm going to take my alcohol and I'm going to clean it because it's very, very dirty after you sand it. You will see just how dirty these things get from the dust. Plus, this one's been sitting on my counter for about a month, so I don't forget about it. See, look at that. You've got to get all the grime off. All right, I'm going to take this outside. I'm going to get it spray painted, put on a tumbler arm, and then we'll start the glitter. Okay, it is spray painted. It's ready for some resin and some glitter. So I mixed up 5 milliliters, like the tiniest bit. And all I'm going to do is spread it so thin. I know it seems like it's not enough. This is a 30-ounce straight tumbler. It's really just acting like the glue. It's not trying to cover it with a coat of epoxy. So I'm just going to drizzle it and spread it everywhere. Get a nice thin layer. This is my Counterculture DIY Fast Set. This is my favorite one for tumblers. It dries quick, especially if you have a tumbler dryer, then it dries even quicker. And then we're just going to drizzle some of this glitter on here and kind of graduate it from the bottom to the top. There, it's all covered. I didn't even use the whole 5. I'm going to use just a tiny bit more just to make sure I covered everything. Get it on my fingers. I've got paper down here to catch my glitter, but I see I just dripped some resin on there, so I'm not going to be using that one. So I'm going to move this one. I had 2 of them, one for the pink and one for the blue. I'm trying to wipe my hand off so I don't have resin all over it. Okay, so I'm just going to sprinkle it over this paper. And basically the spray paint is just to cover any spots that get missed with the glitter. It won't be like clear underneath. I am going to let it kind of fall into the pink as well. Just let it kind of fall naturally. And then I'm going to kind of pat it down because this is a medium cut glitter and you don't want to use that much resin to try to cover it up when we're turning the tumbler. So just get a nice coat on there, like I said. Let it fall naturally onto the pink if you want them to combine. If you don't, I would tape it up. Get the bottom real good. I'm basically just going to tap it. I'm not going to rub it down because this is not tack it glue. This will take extra resin to cover it. I do know that, but if you can tap it the best that you can, it won't be too horrible. Then I'm going to put you on a pause so I can clean up the blue before I do the pink. Once this is dry turning, then you could take like a dry stiff brush and get all the extra off. All right, be right back. So because we're using epoxy to, put this glitter on, you don't have to really rush. It's okay because it's not like Mod Podge that's gonna dry in a couple minutes. So I'm just gonna let it fall onto the blue. That way it has a little bit of transition. And the same thing, just pat it down. Then I'm going to stick this under the curing machine just so I can help it along. And then we'll get some epoxy on here. So while that's drying, I mixed up 1 ounce, which is going to be too much, but that's okay. We're going to mix up the blue Serene glitter, same one we used on the tumbler. Put a whole bunch in here and get some paw prints and dog bones made. This is just my epoxy resin. Nothing special, no fast cure, no nothing. Everything I use is always linked below, so you guys have questions, first go in the description. If it's missing, then let me know and I'll get it for you. I'm just going to spray some of these with alcohol since they're so small. Hopefully it will alleviate any little bubbles. I don't know how many we need. And they don't need to be thick, although this is a pretty thin mold. And this mold is not made for resin, but the shine from the UV resin on the lid is going to take care of all that if it comes out pretty matte. I'm just going to pour a whole bunch, and whatever left, we'll do something else with them. Whoops. And some dog bones. I think my alcohol dried up though. All right, I'm ready to put the first coat of resin on, and before I did that, I took a spray sealer. I took my Mod Podge matte, which is why all the shine is gone, and I just sealed this whole thing in. I first got all the extra glitter off over the garbage. Then I didn't want the rest of the glitter to travel when I'm rubbing my hand over it, so I sprayed, like I said, Mod Podge clear, and it was matte finish on the whole thing, and I let it dry. So because this glitter is so chunky, it's going to take a really thick coat of resin. So I mixed up 40 milliliters for the first coat. I don't know if I'm going to use it all or not, but it doesn't matter because it's going to kind of like, it needs to be thick, put it that way. So the first two coats are going to be just resin. I'm not going to be putting any vinyl on this, any kind of pictures, until I have a flat surface to work with. And it's probably going to be at least 2 coats. Whoops. So I'm just going to get this rubbed all over in a even coat, and then I will use my heat gun to take out any bubbles, even though you won't see them. They're probably still there. See, it is just like soaking it up, kind of like painting a wall for the first time, you know, the paint just soaks into the wall. It's kind of like that because the glitter is so thick. But because this is the only kind of glitter that I had in the colors that she wanted, that's why we're doing this. It doesn't matter what kind of glitter you use, it's just gonna change the end, not the end result, it's gonna change how you get to the end result. It's gonna change how many coats of epoxy you have to put on. So I'm going to use almost this whole thing. Actually, I'll probably use this whole 40 mils, which is a lot. Usually I'll use 10 to 15 on a coat. So I'm just going to get it all over the surface. And then I will do this a couple more times until I have a flat surface. And then I'm going to do it twice at least, and then I will sand. And if I need a third one, then I'll do a third one before I put decals on. So I'm just gonna get these all done. I'll let you know how many I had to do when I'm finished. But I'm not gonna bore you with putting resin on every single time. So the next step with you guys is going to be putting the decals on and the finishing touches and sealing all that in, maybe putting some like strips of washi tape around the photos so it looks like picture framed. So I don't mind that some of the glitter traveled, and I used almost all of it. I barely have anything left. So I'm just gonna grab my heat gun and I'm going to heat it all up, get it not really moving, but popping some bubbles. And I don't mind that there's some blue up there and there's some pink down here. It just kind of combines it. It is combined in the center. I don't know how well you can see it, but it's combined in the center nicely. So I'm just going to put my curing machine over this to help it along a little bit faster so I can get another coat on tonight. So I will be back in 1 second to put vinyl on. It is finally time. I have 3 coats of resin on this because of that chunky glitter, and it's still not perfectly flat, but it's good enough to put these pictures on that I have had printed for like, I feel like forever. She also sent this that she wanted on the cup too. So I think what I'm gonna do is put her 2 pictures on the front with the saying. I trimmed the pictures down as much as I could because I'm not even sure all of them will fit, because I do have to go around each of them with the washi tape. So I think I'm going to start here on the front and just start putting the pictures on, because there's really not a front or a back to this. And it's just like putting on a vinyl wrap. It's just a little easier because it's a lot smaller. So this is gonna have extra layers of resin on it because of all the things we're putting on here. So I just wanna see where we're gonna be. Everything's gotta be pretty close together, so I gotta find a thin washi tape. That one's gonna go about here. And then we'll seal it in with a polyurethane sealer that I use. These have all been sprayed already with a Mod Podge clear sealer so the ink doesn't run when I'm touching them. And then this one can go here. This one's about the same size as that one. All right, so those 3 are good. We have, let's see, 4, 6 left. I'm just not sure if I can get all 6 on. This is going to cover most of the glitter. I think I'm going to go ahead and just stay going straight, because a lot of times I like to do these with pictures, but I'm not sure I can get them all on, like a collage type. Maybe I can. I don't know, I just think it gives it more interest if you're going crooked instead of going straight. I don't know what to do. Let's see if I hold those there. Oh yeah, I think I'll be able to get them all on, crooked or straight. I think so. So I say we give it a little bit of interest and we go a little crooked on these. And if I don't like it, I will just remove them. Maybe I'll go straight with this one and this way on this one. And then like this on that one. That one might be a little bit too big. I'm going to trim off a little bit of back. I'm trying to keep the cuteness in. Bear with me, guys. We're gonna try that. And then we'll see here. This one's a little dark, so I'm not sure, but she said it was one of her favorite pictures, so I'm going to make sure to try to get it in. Yep, that'll work. So we're going to do this one like this. Whoops, it grabbed a hold. Well, it's going there now. Okay. Then I went like that, and then like that. Let me see what kind of washi tape that I have. Here we go. There wasn't room for any more. Okay, let me see what I have so I can match this up. So what I have that kind of goes with it is silver and blue. That's really, really thin. Everything else that I have is too thick for all the photos. So I think that's what I will use. If I could find the end of this one. And I'm basically just going to frame them to cover the edges that I cut. I don't know where the beginning of this one is. Here we go. And this is the reason I seal everything in afterwards. because the pictures are already sealed, but the washi tape does not like to stick under resin. So when I get it on, that's why I'm going to seal it again. So I'm just going to frame it out. I will fast forward because this is going to take a while. Or I may just show you one, because that'll be a long fast forward. This is going to take some time. So I'm just going to cut the edge, press it on as hard as it'll go, depending on what kind of brand you have. Depends on how good it sticks. I do not know where I got these anymore, so I can't even tell you. They've been so long, couple years. Go. That's it. So that just gives it a better finished look for that. I'm just going to go around and kind of randomly pick what color goes where, and I'll show you a little bit of it, and then we'll get it sealed in. Well, that took a little while, but I think it looks pretty good. I think I got them all. I just did every other one. So what I'm gonna do before I seal anything, anytime it's an order, I send pictures usually, if it's not, if it's complicated like this one. If it's just a random one, I don't, but let me send her some pictures, maybe a video, make sure she likes it, because of what I don't wanna do is cover it in resin and then she tell me she doesn't like it and have to strip everything off and start all over again. So I'm going to avoid that one. I will get my sticker on the bottom right now as well. Send her some videos. So give me a pause and then we'll see what happens. All right, it's time to seal all this in before we put resin on it. And all the photos and this decal here, I've already sprayed with the Mod Podge matte. I've also sprayed my bottom sticker with that as well, so that ink doesn't run, because that ink will run off that sticker. Now I'm going to use my urethane quick coat sealer, and I'm just going to basically apply it just like the resin. This stuff dries in probably 20 minutes. I'm just going to, just a thin coat, and all it's doing is holding in the washi tape for me. I'm not really worried about the pictures because they've been sealed already, but that washi tape I do worry about. It's given me problems when I first started tumblers. It was very difficult to work with. See, that piece just moved on me, so I'm already being too hard on it. But this sealer will hold it down like glue. So it's back in place right there. So I'm just gonna get this all over the tumbler, and this will also help adhere the next layer of resin without getting any fish eyes on it. So if you do end up with fish eyes, what I do, first of all, if I see that there's fish eyes, I will quickly take the resin off the cup before it starts curing. Rewash the cup down with soap and water, alcohol, no fingerprints, make sure you're using gloves, and reapply, and that's usually the problem. If for some reason that's not the problem, but I highly doubt it, then you can apply a sealer, and resin likes to stick to sealer without fish eyes, so it gives it something to grab onto. You can also sand down a tumbler. Now I won't be able to sand this one down yet, obviously because of all the photos. So, but once I have some more resin on here, see, this one's gonna get extra resin because there's so many layers to it. So once I get a good coat of resin on, if I have to sand it down between coats to help it stick, I will. So I'm just gonna let this spin and dry, and once it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and get the last few coats of resin on. Since I've already showed you that a few times, I'm just gonna come back when the resin is completely finished, and then we will finish up the cup together. I've got the fourth coat of resin on there. I put a little shimmer so that the pictures have a little shimmer to them. So while that's spinning and curing, because there's probably going to be 2 more coats go on that, let's work on her lid. So remember these little tacos? These are going on there. And to fill up the space, I poured some paw prints and some little dog bones to fill in a little bit of that space, but I want most of the tacos on the top. I'm going to take my UV resin and my dual light because I want it to cure from the bottom and the top. I'm just going to kind of spread some of this resin over and place some paw prints on the bottom and get that cured right away. Get them in place. I'm just going to kind of like leave the spot open for the hole. Don't forget to leave the hole open. Actually, before I do this, I'm going to put these in the cup and coat them with UV resin. I forgot. Otherwise, I would have had to brush it on top. So I'm just going to put all of them in here. And I'm going to just drizzle a whole bunch of resin on top. Grab a stick. Get them all coated and nice and shiny. Because this was I don't know what kind of mold it was, but it wasn't for resin. And they came out dull. I think I got it in the cake decorating section. And if I need to, I'll brush some more on. That looks better. Whoops. I am going to put some little bones on in between them. Trying not to touch this. Get some resin on all the dull spots. I just colored the black paws in with a Sharpie marker, actually. All right, so I'm just gonna not put the tacos on yet. I'm gonna get this cured for right now. Just a couple minutes. And then we'll get some tacos on top. Okay, let's get these out. Let's see, everything's good, cured. I've mixed up the tacos in the resin too. So I'm just gonna place them in random spots. And if I need to build it up more, I got some more paw prints. Which I probably do want to because there's not too many tacos in that little order. I'm gonna get those cured and then I'll do the rest. All right, a couple more and we'll be done with the lid. Let's put this last dog bone on there. I have 3 more tacos. And if you feel like something else needs to be secured, just pour some more UV resin on. Sometimes I go in between the things, but every single cup lid is different, so kind of play it by ear. I think that looks cute. Let me see, maybe I'll put, I don't know if I want one more. Maybe I'll do one more. Get it coated in resin. Oops. Without covering the tacos. That looks good. One more cure. So this is it. So cute. And I think what I'm going to do is just drizzle in between some of this stuff, just to make sure it's adhered really well. And then I'll run it through the light one last time. Make sure everything's coated. Everything's shiny, sealed. Get that covered since it's on the top, and I'll get this one covered nicely. I think that's good. I'm going to run it under for 5 minutes. And I will see you as soon as the tumbler's ready. Oh, look at that. I missed a spot. That paw didn't get shiny. So make sure you go over your orders very well before you send them out. I think that's good. All right, 5 more minutes. She is finally finished. It's got about 6 layers, 6 or 7 layers of resin on this. This one took a lot because of all the things that went on here, mostly because of the chunky glitter. So if you have chunky glitter, it's definitely going to take more resin. I'm just going to take my knife and trim off the extra resin that got on the lip. And then I'm going to get my acetone and remove the overspray from the spray paint on the inside. And the resin comes right off of your stainless steel. I'm going to have to get all that glitter off of there. So just take your acetone, get everything out, and then wash it down with soapy water. I do let mine cure for a couple of days before I send it in the mail, just because I don't know how the mail is going to handle it, and I don't want anything happening in transit. So the glitter sometimes takes a little extra coaxing to come off. So I'm going to clean this one up, get some final pictures for you. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. If you're new to tumblers, if you have, a lot of you have the stuff to do it and haven't jumped in yet, I would say do it. Try one. It's really not as hard as you think it is. You're gonna be addicted to these next. All right, so this is it with the lid. The lid is done. Everything goes perfectly together. Everything is smooth. and under. So I've already sent her video and pictures and she seems pretty happy with it. I hope you love it. All right, you guys, you have a blessed day. I will see you tomorrow. Bye.